It's September 4th, 1993 at Yankee Stadium. Jim Abbott is 1 out away from a no-hitter. He's facing a Cleveland Indians lineup stacked with future legends. But as he winds up, the 27,000 fans in attendance aren't just watching a great pitcher, they're watching history in the making. Jim Abbott was born in Flint, Michigan in September of 1967. His parents were determined to ensure that their one-handed son would have a normal life. Jim was drawn to baseball. He developed excellent hand-eye coordination by repeatedly throwing a ball against a brick wall and practicing the patented Abbott switch. This allowed him to pitch and catch with the same hand. He quickly rejected a mechanical prosthetic hand that he disliked. Abbott showed exceptional talent from a young age, throwing a no-hitter in his first Little League game at only age 11. Despite ongoing skepticism from others at every level, he excelled. At Flint Central High School, he proved doubters wrong by fielding well enough to play first base and outfield when he wasn't pitching. He was a remarkable left-handed batter, hitting 7 home runs and achieving .427 batting average as a senior. That same year, he posted a 10-3 pitching record with a .76 ERA. He also rejected the Toronto Blue Jays and instead attended the University of Michigan. To really understand how Jim Abbott excelled, you have to understand the Abbott switch. It looked like magic, but it was pure muscle memory. He'd balance his glove on his right limb, and he'd throw with his left. Then in less than half a second, he'd slide his left hand into his glove.
And get my sign. I put the glove in front of my body. I wanted to hide my grip. Worried about the third base coach, worried about the first base coach. The ball was always spinning in my hand until I got over my head. I reach back, my grip is set, eyes still on the target.
Right back to the mound. He goes to second for 1 out. Throws to first, got him. Big play by Jim Abbott.
Opponents thought that they could find a cheat code by bunting on him constantly. They thought this defense was actually a weakness. They were soon proven wrong when Abbott recorded a nearly perfect fielding percentage over his whole career. In 1987, at just 25 years old, he did the unthinkable. He traveled to Havana for the U.S. for a 5-game series against Cuba, and he even beating the Cuban national team on their own turf, the first Americans to do so in 25 years. Even Fidel Castro had to see it to believe it. With a crowd of 50,000 Cubans who usually treated Americans as the enemy, they gave him a standing ovation. And in 1988, he won Olympic gold while baseball was still a demonstration sport. He was so good that the Angels took him 8th place overall in the draft and did something almost unheard of. They sent him straight to the big leagues. And his first major league season, he achieved a 12-12 win-loss record with a 3.92 ERA. This earned him a 5th place finish in the AL Rookie of the Year award voting. However, his best season came in 1991. Where he went 18-11 despite the Angels finishing last in the AL West. Abbott's 2.89 ERA was the 4th lowest in the American League across 243 innings. Then came the trade to the New York Yankees in his infamous no-hitter.
And past first base. Baerga batting .318. And the ground ball is short. Velarde, he did it. He did it. No hitter for Jim Abbott. Jim Abbott throws a no hitter and shuts out the Cleveland Indians 4-0.
Jim Abbott ended up retiring with 888 strikeouts and 87 wins in 1999. But his stats are the least interesting thing about him. He proved that a disability isn't a wall, it's just a different way of doing things. Abbott did end up retiring in 1999, but not before reaching the peak of Mount Baseball. Nowadays, he spends most of his time with charity, family, and motivational speaking. Jim Abbott, along with others like Kyle Maynard and Logan Aldridge, have inspired me personally. I do want to highlight other athletes that strive to go above and beyond because they have done so much inspiration for myself. I was born with a stroke going all down my left side. And I knew about Jim Abbott before I knew about any other baseball player. I even learned the Abbott switch without knowing its name at the time because I wanted to play baseball. I wanted to play basketball and all these other sports. Wasn't good at them, but I wanted to play. And later in life, I read Kyle Maynard's book on No Excuses, and I got into CrossFit because of Logan Aldridge. All these people have inspired me to become who I am. And I think it's important to highlight people that don't make that excuse, that strive to do their best and inspire at any point.